Hello everyone, JRDeal96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's another Jacksepticeye video, and it's another Q&A video he decided to do. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to actually submit a question again, because I didn't get the time to, but then again, at the same time, I kind of knew I was going to get glanced over as usual. But it's always worth a try anyway, right? But the title alone and the thumbnail alone is kind of hilarious. My least favorite question to be asked. And I'm guessing it's because of the whole green hair thing. Which he still has to do. Like, what was he doing this last month? Just chilling in his house and doing just video making. He probably had enough time to dye his hair then. Oh. No, we're gonna put glitter on. That's it. But I know he's probably just waiting for the right time. That's probably when. He's waiting for the right time to do it, and it might have something to do with Auntie. I have no clue. But you never know. But I might as well just get right into this video. So without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we? Oh, good lord.
Oh, hey, sorry. I had auto jump on. What's up? You have Q's, I have A's. So let's just auto jump into it. Was it easier getting your second degree? I'm thinking about going back to uni, but I'm worried I'm not going to have the motivation like the first time around. Should clarify as well, that made it seem like I got 2 degrees. I didn't. I left college the first time. If you don't know, I've been to college twice. As I famously said in that super drunk video I did. But I went to college the first time for music production, and I left after 2 years because I couldn't keep up with it for various different reasons I'm not going to get into now. But I went back then to college a second time to go do hotel management. And I went in thinking that it was going to be an easy degree to get, and I wanted to just get a degree to my name, because I was originally going to go teach English in Korea at the time. That didn't end up panning out, thankfully. But when I went back and did it the second time, no, it wasn't easier to do. If anything, it was harder to do because the motivation to do other things was much stronger than the motivation, because I went into it for the wrong reasons. I went in just trying to get an easy degree rather than going in for something that I was super invested in. And then the first time I went to college, when I was super invested in music, the course was a little too vague for my liking. It didn't get into the specifics of certain things more. It was just like a catch-all to do all these different things. So I got really bored of it really quickly. So I'd say matching the right course
I dropped out of college because it wasn't helping me
with
at all.
your passions and with the stuff that you're motivated to do. Anyway, that'll make university life a whole lot easier. That's not that in and of itself is not an easy thing to do. But if you can marry those ideas together, it'll make it a lot easier. But for me, the second time through college was not easier. I ended up doing it more out of stubbornness and commitment to actually finish it the second time, rather than it actually being an easier thing to do. But the one thing that I've learned out of my experiences going through college is to not be afraid to ask your fellow classmates for help. So the first time I went through, I wasn't able to do it. I felt dumb, and I didn't ask my friends and my classmates to help me learn certain things more, and that killed my motivation even further. And then the second time through, there was stuff that I just wasn't doing that asking others to help me do would have made it a lot easier. So just help is there in college if you need it, whether from your classmates or your friends or your teachers or the college itself. So don't be afraid to just reach out. I've learned a lot through therapy, but through your experience with it, this is very hard to read for an Irishman. I've learned a lot through therapy, but through your experience with it, is there one thing that stayed with you until now? I haven't done a super extensive amount of therapy, so I shouldn't speak like any sort of authority on it. But something that stuck with me in my brief experience with it was fixing my life balance. That was the big thing that I realized that was completely off. The reason that I was getting burnt out and frustrated with my work was because I wasn't doing enough in my spare time to really fulfill me outside of my work. The reason that I was getting burnt out and unfulfilled in my personal life was because I was surrounded by a bunch of negative energy, and my perspective on things was just completely off. My goals and my aspirations and what I actually wanted to do with myself was off. So getting my life balance in check was a huge thing for me. It's still not perfect. I still overwork sometimes and then don't work enough some other times, and sometimes I don't do... I wouldn't say I don't do cool enough things in my spare time, but sometimes doing completely nothing at all is what you should be doing. So I just don't have my pieces in the right places sometimes, but it's a lot better now than it was like
year
and a half ago. So trying to figure out how to take more time for myself, trying to figure out how to work not more but more efficiently, and doing it in a way that's a lot more fun now, but also in a way that achieves a lot of the goals that I want to do. So just getting that all together in a better time frame management system has worked out a lot better for me. Who do you prefer, me or God? Let me ask you this, Satan. Has God done a face reveal? No. Has Satan on Twitter? Yes. Has God liked or retweeted any of my stuff on Twitter? No. Has Satan? Yes. I can't wait to see the headline. Jacksepticeye is a Satanist. Would you ever consider another tour, but adding a meet and greet aspect? For the original tour that I did, for the How Did We Get Here tour, I really pushed to try and do a meet and greet for each one of them. We ended up doing the VIP Q&A sections, like, I can't remember the time frame. It was before the show actually started, like an hour, hour and a half.
Kind of like how Mark did
40 minutes, 45 minutes, and it was just a special little thing that the VIP people got to come to early and ask the questions if they really wanted to. So you got your seats early, you got some merch as part of that package. So I really wanted to do a meet and greet as part of that as well, but when we actually sat down and did the numbers for it, it was way too hard to actually figure out the time logistics of that. It would have been either less people, like 25 to 50 people for the VIP then, and doing a meet and greet, and even that was hard to do. Because I want to give people the time of day, I want to be able to stop and actually talk for more than 5 minutes with each person, actually listen and chat and meet and actually get to know each other, at least just a small bit. Because that's the point of a meet and greet for me. I'm not really a huge fan of the whole like, hey, hi, picture, sign, go.
Yeah.
Because that feels a little too militant, a little too clinical for me. I like chatting with people, but to do that, it would have taken just a gargantuan amount of time. And we got in like that morning sometimes for a lot of the shows. So like 10, 11 a.m. we would get in, we'd load in at midday or 1, and then they spent all day setting everything up, doing sound checks. And then by like 4 or 5 o'clock we were ready to go, and then 6 was when the VIP would start. So it was just too hard to figure out the time of all of that, and you need to give people time for lunch, for dinner, time to just break away and not work them all day. So I would have loved to, but it's really hard to do meet and greets when it's not just everybody in one room. And then it kind of feels like it defeats the purpose of a meet and greet. So the Q&A session was a good sort of middle ground for that.
Way to...
Hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. Sorry if this is too personal. How's your mental health been? Or doing anything to maintain stability? It's doing pretty good. It has its days where I wake up. Like even today I woke up and for some reason I was just miserable. I don't know why. Maybe something I read, something I saw, something I did. Could be any number of things. But I was just kind of sitting here in a funk.
Yeah, you do a lot of Zelgo.
Today. Going to the gym and working out in general has been a huge help for that. Because I can work out at home, I have the equipment here to do that, and that's fine, but I like the aspect of like going out and doing like a communal thing. I like being around people and just kind of feeling like I'm part of society and not sitting at home all day alone. Even when Evelyn's here,
you don't want
it's still like it's isolating. I like being out in the world. I like being part of society.
You just said the word I was going to say.
People. So going out and going to the gym for like an hour each day, whenever I can, gets me out of the house. It gets like a workout going, which is great just for your mentality as well, and it gets chemicals flowing in your brain and releases endorphins and all that kind of mumbo jumbo.
Endorphin.
But it's really good for you, and it increases your health in general. But another aspect of that is that people don't realize how good it is for your mental health. So I've been trying to do that, and anytime stuff kind of gets to me, I've been learning to like pull away more. Like if I read a lot of stuff online about me, I think a lot of people in this position do, because stuff just, you get knowledge about stuff people are saying about you in general. Most of it is completely positive and most of it is great, but every now and then you'll get those things that's just, it's just horrible. It's just stuff written about you that's not true, it's all speculative. People are just so mean when it comes to online culture, when they want to be, because they think you're not able to see it. And sometimes some of that, I'll catch wind of some of that and it just completely ruins my day. And some days, like, it gives me like huge swells of anxiety in my chest to even like interact with some of this stuff. But I have been learning to like, okay, if stuff is getting to me, okay, time to back away, time to go do something else, and time to just be me for a few hours. And trying to like separate work from personal life has been a huge thing as well. So it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that anybody has figured out. You don't just go like, that's it. Mental health, figured out. I know what I'm supposed to do today. I know how to maintain it.
It's not that easy, I'm pretty sure.
Nothing lasts forever. Nothing that works now will work all the time, and not anything that works for me is going to work for everybody else. So it's a constant thing that you're trying to figure out, and I'm thankfully on the higher end of it, and I'm doing much better. Especially considering how I was this time last year, or like the start of last year, so I'm happy about that. Have you officially become a Minecraft channel now? Yes.
Probably.
And it's amazing. All I want to do is play Minecraft. There's times like in between recordings where I'm just sitting here like farming, like looking for diamonds and getting rocks and adding little knickknacks to all my houses and my buildings and everything. It's wonderful, it's great, Minecraft is awesome. I don't know why
it is, but
it took me so long to play it. What inspired you to start interviewing celebrities? I don't know if I say I was inspired to do it. It's not like I woke up and was like, yes, I want to do this. This is what I want to do with myself
I recognize that username.
It was a happy coincidence of when the Ryan Reynolds one happened, he followed me on Twitter before that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then, I guess because I had been talking about Deadpool a lot, Deadpool's like top favorite superheroes. Him and Spider-Man are my two favorites. And then I was talking about Ryan Reynolds a lot because I'm just a huge fan of his.
And we know what happened to Spider-Man recently.
Just him as a person. So all of this kind of coupled together got wind of the studio who were doing Deadpool, and they were like, it might be fun to bring you in. You play Deadpool on your channel, he plays Deadpool in the movie. Let's put you guys together and play Deadpool and talk about some stuff. So because that one happened at all, is the only reason I've been able to do any of these other ones. Because that one happened and it went so well, then other people are like, oh, that's fun, we can like tap into the YouTube space through me and the audience that we have here and talk about the movie and promote it in that regard. And I, as a happy byproduct of that, just get to meet some of my favorite people and in one of my favorite professions. So it's just been wonderful. It's all a bunch of happy coincidences and happy luck of the draw type of things that have happened. So I'm trying to make the most of it, and I'm just really, really fortunate and happy that I get to do it at all. I am trying to pick the people who I have interest in, though.
Yeah.
They have come to me with other people in the past and been like, do you want to interview this person for this movie? And I'm like, not really. I'm sure they're great. I'm sure the movie's great, but I just don't really have any personal interest in it.
Yeah, you gotta interview the thing that you're interested in.
It's harder to sit there
so
and actually
get passion
do it for the sake of a video. So all the ones I've done so far are all people that I've just had huge fascination and respect for. Ever thought of getting a pet dog IRL that looks like Sam from your Minecraft series? Yes, I've wanted a dog for so long. The reason I made the name Sam was because I said that was going to be the name of my dog in real life if I got a dog. And I've been wanting one for like 3 years now, but I do so much traveling, so much work. I'm to and fro all the time, and stuff isn't set in stone all the time. That it would be unfair to get a dog right now. It would be unfair on the dog, it would be unfair on me. It just wouldn't work. So whenever I have the time and whenever I'm settled a little bit more,
I do know he had a dog in the past
named
Gizmo.
Then I will definitely get a dog because I love dogs. What's going to happen when you stop playing Minecraft? Bold of you to assume that I'm going to stop playing Minecraft. Is cereal just soup? No, cereal is not soup. Let's look up the actual definition for soup. Soup definition. A liquid dish, typically savory and made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables in stock or water. A substance or mixture regarded as resembling soup in appearance or consistency. I mean, in that regard, I guess it kind of resembles it in appearance.
Milk.
But not really. A liquid dish typically savory and made by boiling meat or fish or vegetables in stock water. That's basically what soup is. Cereal's not soup. Can't wait for all the comments where it's like, well, technically, Earth's flat or a circle. The Earth is a cube. It's one giant Minecraft block, and we all live inside. What's your least favorite question to be asked by the community? Where's the green hair? Are you going to dye your green hair again? Are you ever going to dye it green again? Are you going to dye your hair any color again? I remember when you had green hair, and that was great, and that was the best time ever. Are you going to dye your hair green again? Look. I get it.
He's working on it.
The green-haired period on the channel was awesome. When the channel was booming, the biggest it ever had. Yes. So the most amount of people who had eyeballs on the channel all at once was during that period. And during that period also came with it a few series that were encapsulated in that one period of time, and that's when the most talk about the Jacksepticeye channel was happening. So I get why most people want more of that. They want more of that period, that era, that green hair, because to them that's when most people found the channel, that's when most people were watching it, so that's what most people equate to what the channel actually being. But at this point, I've had my natural coloured hair longer than I've had green hair on the channel. Please stop asking. What's been the most burning question? That's my question. Where's the green hair? Are you ever going to dye green again? Favorite animated film that wasn't made by Disney? Bold of you to assume that my favorite animated movie would be a Disney movie, which it's not. My favorite animated movie of all time is now Enter the Spider-Verse, because it is phenomenal. It's a masterclass in animation, storytelling, pacing. It's so good.
It won an Academy Award.
It's amazing. I love it so much.
Gave so much
passion, motivation, and just sheer joy watching it. So I love that movie. Have you ever had a dream that you
Nathan?
You
Nate wants to battle.
You want to. You could do so. You do. You can do. You want to. You do so much. You can do anything. What do you miss the most about Ireland, and what do you miss the least? The thing I miss most about Ireland is kind of the scenery and the landscape. Because Ireland's a very old type of country. It's super old. It goes way, way, way back. Older than most other countries in the world, and you can see it as you walk around the towns. Everything's like stone and cobbled and grassy, and everything just feels very
a lot of like
primordial in Ireland. It really feels like you're grounded to the earth when you're in Ireland. And for the longest time, I didn't appreciate that because I was young. I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more with technology and YouTube and everything.
Technology.
And Ireland's not the best place for it. That's what I miss the least, is the isolating element of it in regards to the type of work that I do. It's sure some of it is there,
but in a rural area,
everything else that was going on with
suburban,
my job and everything, I just felt like I was alone in Ireland doing this type of thing. Back ages ago when I lived there, of course,
you were in a cabin in the middle of the woods.
Much more Irish YouTubers doing it now, and more people rising to prominence, and it's much more of a career there. People are kind of wisening up to it. But in regards to like technology and internet type of culture, Ireland still kind of feels like it's kind of slower in that regard. It's not making the advances, which works to its benefit because it's also some of the stuff that I love about Ireland. And now that I've been away from it for a couple of years, I really want to get back to my roots and learn more about the culture and the history of Ireland.
Not necessarily pre-internet, but just pre-early internet when it wasn't
all of the troubles Ireland went through. I don't know any of the battles, the freeing ourselves from British rule, and any of that stuff. And that's all fascinating stuff to learn about. And I want to learn more about my culture and my history and the people of Ireland. So maybe sometime I'll take a venture back to Ireland and do road trips and actually see more of the country.
I've always wanted to go to my ancestry's workplace, Germany.
Being interested in acting. Is there anything else in that field
that
you're
interested in? Sign up for that acting
all of it.
Industry.
Anything got to do with making movies or making shows or making whatever,
professionally act, I think you already signed that up with that agency.
I love how stuff is made. I love seeing the inner workings of things. Any of the projects that I've got to be part of in relation to any of this type of stuff, it's just been great to kind of be there and see other people do their job and how it's put together. And while I would love to pursue acting more going forward, and I fully intend on trying that at some point, in regards to writing, I love really good writing in anything, but I don't think that I'm the person to do it. I don't have any sort of practice in it. I don't think I have the focus and the discipline for it, because I'm more of an ideas person. I have a million different ideas, but I'm not good at putting them into writing.
Yeah.
And I'm not stubborn enough to think that I can write all of the ideas that I have. So
I always have these ideas in my head. I just can't put them in writing.
Putting my ideas into fruition, and I just like working with other people anyway. So I definitely would love to get more into directing and writing and just acting out stuff in general. And I have some projects in mind that I'm trying to do that does incorporate some of this stuff. So I really hope that I can talk more about that stuff soon. Do you prefer sarcastic questions or serious ones? Asking for a friend. Why not both? One of my worries about doing videos like this is that I don't want it to get bogged down in super serious stuff all the time. I like mixing and matching stuff. I like having a nice pace to it, a nice few jokes in there, or then on the other side of it, we actually have some deeper questions and some thought-provoking questions. So everything is welcome. Do you dip your French fries in ice cream? Yes. 100% yes. Milkshakes,
I tried it.
Ice cream
nice.
is absolutely delicious to do so. Is there a game coming out that you really want to play? I really want to play Death Stranding and The Last of Us 2. Those are kind of the two that are on
Death Stranding, yeah, that's the big one.
I'm really hoping they announce a Bloodborne 2 at some point.
Oof.
Because I absolutely love it and I really want more.
I can't wait to play Spyro on the Switch.
Death Stranding, yes, that comes out in November.
Which comes out in a couple days.
I'm a little apprehensive about it because we don't know too much about the gameplay element of it right now, and I feel like it might let people down in that regard. I think people are expecting.
I think the Avengers looks pretty good, but it might end up being a letdown.
But
might end up being
knowing Kojima, it's going to be very story heavy. It's going to have a lot of
Kojima, for crying out loud. Death Stranding,
and a lot of story exposition.
It's Kojima,
and the gameplay aspect of it, I'm hoping
he's going to be. It's one of those games.
Supplements that very well and complements it very well. But we'll see. Last of Us 2 is going to be phenomenal. But
obviously,
I think that's going to be next year. So
yeah, it was delayed.
Whenever that happens, I will be doing a full series on it. Because of how drastically YouTube has changed over the years, would you still say starting a YouTube career is worth it for those who want to give it a shot? Would you give the same advice for it as you have given 3 to 4 years ago? That's a very good question, contextualizing it from like now versus back then. I still think it's absolutely worth it. Of course, this is the most fun job I have ever had, and I can't imagine doing anything else with my time. It's such a pure creative outlet, and sure there are frustrations with algorithms and demonetization and copyright strikes and people being mean on the internet and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the positives of this job and the positives of doing this completely far outweigh any of that stuff. Those are annoyances and grievances and get in the way sometimes, but day to day doing this as my job is just pure creative freedom. And I love being able to do it. And I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in where I can just try a bunch of stuff. I know when you're starting out it's much harder, but I'd still say a lot of the advice that I've given in the past rings true now, maybe with some slight changes, like obviously doing the stuff you're passionate about, doing the stuff that you know a lot about, doing it for the right reasons and just trying to have fun with it are all still really good pillars to start off a YouTube channel with.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that those are the only things to start off with, because you do have to be smart. If your goal is to actually make it a career and you really want to work at it, you really want it to be your job, then you need to get good at learning about your analytics, you need to get good at learning how to read the data from your channel, what works, what doesn't work. Just try to understand all of that, because that can help you gear your stuff. You don't have to sell out, you don't have to turn into mindless stuff and do only the things that are popular. There's a way of marrying your ideas with your passion, with the data that's there, and putting them all into one funnel and making it go further than it normally would. Because for a long time I also had that opinion, like 3 to 4 years ago, I was very staunchly against, like, no, don't clickbait, and don't do this, and don't do that, and it was a very, like, high and mighty attitude. Like, I thought I knew better, because I was doing it for different reasons. When you can do YouTube for whatever reason you want, and if you want success out of it, there are ways of doing it, and you shouldn't really be made to feel bad for wanting it to succeed. Just because somebody else is not doing it for those reasons doesn't mean that it's horrible for you to want to do it in that reason. As long as you're not hurting anybody, then just do whatever you want.
Do what you want. Do what makes you happy.
Try it out. Give it a while. It does take a while for anything. Unless you have a completely insanely original, unique thing where it's just going to explode overnight.
At this point, is there anything?
No one knows.
Is there anything original that hasn't been done on YouTube yet?
But just jump in, give it a while. Try not to get it in your head too much about, like, comparing yourself to what other people had at this period, at this time. Like, oh, this person was doing it for so and so years and they got this far, and I've been doing it that long and I haven't gotten that far. Different strokes, different folks. Not everything that everybody does is always going to be comparable to each other. So
exactly.
Just give it some time. As long as the passion and the fun is there. Because for me, it was because I was bored. It was because I was lonely. It was because of all these different
the only thing I could relate to. I was bored, and I really just kind of felt
to express myself.
To be able to show people, the whole concept of YouTube really interested me.
This is my personality. This is what I like to do. Do you like it as well? Like, come on in. Let's have fun.
Come on in.
And I think that that's at the core of what YouTube is. You can still do it you still do it in a completely business aspect, but the communal aspect of it, to me, has always been the strongest pillar for my channel. So I always want to try and keep that alive and keep that going. Also, sorry, this answer's going on way too long. The video is way too long. But another thing is to not be afraid to adapt what you're doing to what YouTube necessarily needs right now. That's also looked down upon every now and then as well, because if people change and they mold their content to a different form, just trying to adapt to what YouTube's doing, it's not a bad thing to want your stuff to still succeed and want it to do well. But sometimes you have to kind of like change what's going on in certain ways. You don't have to change completely. You can if you want. But you can change certain things to kind of go with what YouTube is favoring more now. And people get hung up. It's the same thing with the green hair and the Happy Wheels and all that stuff, because people knew the channel most back then. So that's the happy little bubble of the thing that they know. And anything outside of that can be scary and changing and whatever.
Yes.
But I can't be that. You can't be the same thing you are 3 years ago on YouTube now, because the platform has just completely changed and morphed. So many more people doing it. YouTube wants different things. The algorithm changes. So just moving and shaping and going with that, while also keeping your morals intact, I think is a perfectly viable thing to do, as long as you're aware of it, that it's happening. But that's going to be it! Poof! All the questions are gone.
Okay, Marvin.
Thank you guys so much. I love doing these Q&A videos. It's nice to just reconnect. It's nice to just be one-on-one and chat about stuff and actually have you guys have input in the videos and see what the burning questions you guys have. A lot of them end up kind of being the same questions over and over again, but it's still just nice. It's nice to have these types of videos where we're actually having somewhat of a conversation and getting some sort of opinions and thoughts out, because I think that's nice to ground the channel a bit more and have this like nice central hub of the community, like I keep saying, to have that there and keep connecting back to it. And you can branch off from it, but as long as I remember to come back and relate back to you guys and just chat, has always been nice. But thank you guys for watching, and maybe we'll do another one soon. Who knows? What are your burning questions? Let me know down in the comments below. Bye! I'm here. You aren't here? You aren't even in here.
Exactly. Still here, I see. Very good. It's very hot in here. Oh boy. So that was really an interesting Q&A that he did. Especially that last question was really a really deep one in terms of like how, like, compared to YouTube years ago and how the policies were a lot different back then compared to now. It's just, you know, like what you say, the same thing that you did years ago to now, like that whole idea. Well, to me, a lot of stuff that he said I definitely agree with. Like, at least try to adapt to what YouTube wants slightly, but just do what you want, what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, which is something I do. And not just try to, like, not just do it because whatever, because everybody else is doing it. No. Just have a lot of passion behind it. Do what makes you happy. That's, like, one of the things that I always like saying, is just do what makes you happy. Believe in yourself. And again, the whole thing of not trying to compare. I'm not necessarily trying to compare to him, because he's mentioned, like, oh, this guy's been doing it for this long and made it this far while before even they started. Look, I do always say, like, I remember I started making videos, well, uploading videos at least a year before Mark and Jack did. Well, I'm not saying that I'm trying to compare, but I like to always mention that. Like, I'm not trying to compare. Not necessarily trying to do that. But I just wanted to share that, because especially I've been doing this now for almost 8 years. For over 8 years now, I've been doing this. And they've been doing it for at least 6, 7 years now. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Really, really crazy. But a lot of those questions were really good, and some familiar faces, familiar names like Radicoon and Septic JPEG I saw. The Septic JPEG question. with the about were you inspired to interview celebrities? Yeah, it's crazy. Like the one that like aspect that I remember when what he said with the whole like he gets asked if you want to interview these certain celebrities and he says no, but he wants to interview the celebrities that he's interested in, like because there's a lot of passion behind the interview, not these monotone interviews. You know, you want like there's like this one interviewer I remember seeing who did press for Captain America during the press tour for Captain America Civil War and other Marvel movies, and there's a lot of comments in those interview ones where like a lot of comments saying this guy should be the official interviewer for freaking Marvel movies. He's that good. Like there's like one question this guy asked Chris Evans. It's for Fox 5 in Washington D.C. I think. He asked Chris Evans like you directed a movie, like you did Captain America: Winter Soldier before you directed your own movie, Before We Go I think it was called, and then you did Avengers and then Captain America: Civil War right after that. So how do you compare yourself from then to now, and is you a lot different? Like something along those lines. And then Chris Evans makes a joke like, well, thanks for asking me a great question, and besides asking me how I work out. Because that's probably all the other interviewers. But certain questions like those are just really good. Like, that's probably why he interviews like people like Ryan Reynolds or Jason Momoa or Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson or Tom Holland or Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. Like, you know, like certain celebrities that he's interested in to interview, you know? I think that's what makes those interviews special. Because you don't want to see him bored. You don't want to see the interviewer bored and kind of not giving a fuck while the celebrity is talking. Like, you want to see passion behind the interviewer. That's what you want to see. It's really interesting. But, that was really fascinating to listen to. Him talking about all that stuff and stuff like that. Besides him, his least favorite question is his least favorite question to be asked is about the green hair. And I'm pretty sure he gets that all the time. So, it's no surprise that he ended up tweeting out, 10,000 retweets if I get to dye my hair green again. And that tweet ends up becoming his most retweeted tweet in history. Well, it's because a lot of people probably really came along when he had the green hair. I came near the very end of the green hair era. He still had green hair when I started watching him. Well, it was like the last time he officially dyed his hair green again. It was before the Kill Jacksepticeye stuff happened. So that was when I really started to watch him and subscribe to him. I've been subscribed to him now for 2 years, which is crazy. But overall, really fun to watch. So, like, I know, again, dyeing your hair is really gonna mess up your hair. It really is gonna mess up with your hair as well. It's gonna really kill your hair as well. So I think it's because, again, the reason why he did it originally was because of charity. Same thing with Mark. He did it for charity reasons. If we hit a certain goal, I'll dye my hair. That's what he did. That's how Mark and Jack did it. It wasn't because, for just to spice things up. No. Not like how everybody else did it afterwards. But still, like, they did it for a reason. And now Jack's gonna have to do it again at some point. God knows when. He's probably gonna dye it just like... He's probably gonna do what Ethan did. He's gonna dye his hair for a week green, and then he's gonna dye it right back to its natural color the next week. Like, I guarantee you, I bet you $1 million that he's gonna do that. He's probably gonna do that. He did it. Ethan did that when when he raised a certain amount of money, he had to dye his hair blue again, and he did. And then the next week, back to his normal color. It was like, I'm pretty sure that's what Jack's gonna do. I think it would be funny if he did, but you never know. Anyways, I think that's really it for today's video. Overall, it was a nice, fun Q&A to listen to and listen to him answer all these questions. Excuse me. Horatio, it's okay. You didn't have to jump up like that and look at the TV like as if something's gonna happen to you. The TV ain't gonna kill you. So, what other video could I react to? I'm probably gonna react to the Ghost of Tomorrow. Oh, that's the game that Mark played during the 3 Scary Games. The Ghost of Tomorrow. It's the same game that he played. So is it the full game, or is it another one of those 3? It's probably another one of those 3 Scary Game things. Probably, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna react to that. The thumbnail doesn't help at all. It's like a haunted McDonald's on LSD. On acid or whatever the hell it is. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to also check out my Instagram because I make cool ads of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also do reenactments and cosplays on there, so go check it out. Be sure to also check out my Tumblrs in the description as well, and be sure to also check out my Discord server. If you want to join my Discord server, the link to it's in the description as well. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.